in quality between fan pussy and fan dick. It is so upsetting to a person like me. Because I think about cheating on my husband every 5 minutes. I haven't done it yet. Not because I'm a good person, only because no worthy opportunity has presented itself. My mom doesn't understand. She can't relate to these feelings of wanting to fool around outside of your marriage because she's an immigrant woman who was born in 1940. Her world is a lot smaller than mine. The only men my mother has ever had an actual conversation with are my brother and my dad. That's it. I, on the other hand, have met the entire cast of the Avengers. And I want all of them to come on my face. I think I'm going through a midlife crisis. Having 2 C-sections and being the breadwinner of my family has turned me into a 50-year-old man. I had a colonoscopy a couple years ago. That is some 50-year-old man shit right there. What had happened was I all of a sudden got extremely bloated over a very short period of time. And it was so extreme to the point where I thought I was pregnant again. And I took a test and it was negative. And then my OBGYN became very concerned that I was showing symptoms of ovarian cancer because it runs in my family. And so then she ordered a CT scan, and the results came back, and she said to me, okay, Ali, you know, the good news is that you don't have ovarian cancer, okay? And then the bad news is that, Ali, you are full of shit. Stop giggling, Ali, stop it. This is serious, okay? On the report, the radiologist wrote, the results are remarkable. Which to me seemed like the radiologist gave me an A++. But she was like, no, that's bad. When the radiologist writes the results are remarkable, what that translates to is, oh my goodness, I don't understand how this tiny Vietnamese mom fit this football field of doo-doo inside of her body. I have never seen this in my 30 years as a radiologist, and I cannot wait to take screenshots of this to all my radiologist friends. So then a GI specialist was called in, and I saw her look at the results, and she went like this. And then she turns to me and says, Miss Wong, I am so sorry that I gasped in front of your face. That was so unprofessional of me. I know exactly who you are. Please do not talk about how I just did that on stage. But, you know, I have to admit that I'm clearly alarmed by what I see here. You are backed up well into your small intestine. And I'm almost certain that there is some sort of mass and most likely a tumor that's causing all of this blockage. So we're going to have to perform a colonoscopy to see what's going on in there. I was like, why? You guys just did a CT scan. And she was like, yes, it is true that the whole point of a CT scan is to see inside of your body, but the lasers couldn't penetrate the great wall of shit that's inside of you. And they just ricocheted and bounced back into the machine, and now the machine is shook, so we're gonna have to stick a camera up your ass. And I was so nervous, but what I didn't know was that right before the procedure, they give you propofol. And I have to say that as a working mother of 2, getting to take a drug-induced nap for an hour was well worth having a news crew up my butt. It was luxurious. When I woke up from the colonoscopy, I was like, I want another colonoscopy. And then it turned out that my colon was perfectly healthy. And I figured out that what caused that huge traffic jam was the summer before I was shooting this movie called Always Be My Maybe. Oh, thank you. It was this big-ass deal because it was the first movie I had ever co-written and starred in as the lead, and I worked on it for 12 hours a day, every day, for 6 weeks straight, and I was so busy that I forgot to take a shit. For 6 weeks. The movie shot in Vancouver and in San Francisco, and I have no recollection of shitting in Vancouver or in San Francisco. I just straight up forgot. Something like that would never happen to a man. Men, you never forget to take a shit, ever.
What the fuck to expect? My wife's water broke, I'm hyped, I got the Nintendo Switch charged up, I got an extension cord just in case the outlet's far from the couch. We get to the hospital, the security guards are dapping me up, they're like, yo, Schultz, you're about to be a dad. I'm like, I'm about to beat Mario Kart, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. We get up to the room, labor begins, the surprises begin. Here's something that you should know, I wish I knew. Every 2 hours during labor, the doctor's gonna walk in the room, finger your wife right in front of you. That's a pretty important piece of information, right? It's probably at the top of the books and pamphlets, by the way. It'd be nice if the security guards told me that shit instead of dapping me up downstairs. Yo, your wife's gonna be a sock puppet for the next 24 hours, so get ready for this fucking Illuminati humiliation ritual you just signed up for. Choose your OBGYN wisely. Don't choose some 6'6" Viking with a baseball mitt as a hand. Your wife's not even dilating. He's scooping it out, Baskin-Robbins. Thank God we had this little Filipina doctor. Thank God. Thank God. She looked like the chick that made the outfits for The Incredibles. Remember her? She had the smallest little hand. They might have been chopsticks. They were so tight. Bro, I remember she floated into the room. Walked right up to my wife, opened her legs, fingers her, yells out a number, 4! I stopped jerking off. I'm like, oh, hold on. What the fuck you mean 4, bitch? That's a 10. Babe, do that squeezy shit you do. Lock it up. Do the fucking, take the air out the room. 4. I know 4s. I've been to Staten Island. I know what the fucking 4 looks like. I'm fucking around. Shout out Staten Island, man. Let's fucking go. Craziest New Yorkers, fact. The most passionate, the most wild. If anybody ever tries to invade New York, Staten Island gonna handle that. There's actually a scientific reason why people from Staten Island are the way they are, but we'll get to that shit later. Bro, you get these chicks around max contract players, it's a fucking Pez dispenser down there, right? No, you're right. Shots, 100%. You basically got to shoot the women up with the female hormones, estrogen and progesterone. You want to increase those levels inside the body. Those are the hormones that make women, right? Testosterone is what makes men men. So every morning I inject my wife, every evening I inject her, every morning I inject her, every evening I inject her. And I'm sure this is a coincidence, but the more woman juice I would inject in my wife, well, what do you think happened to her demeanor, if you could guess? You think she became real logical, or? Oh my God, you're so good at parking all of a sudden. How'd you get so good at parking? You think she went batshit fucking crazy? Option C, cunt. Thank God I had some testosterone left over, so anytime she got a little too wild, bang, I just hit her with the T. Not enough to box for Algeria in the Olympics, just enough to calm her down. Just enough to calm her down. Where the fuck were you last night? Oh my God. I feel so rational. Do you want to hear a story with no unnecessary details? I was wrong. Anyway, do that for a few weeks. Then you gotta do what's called the retrieval, where they basically stick this vacuum tube up inside your wife, pop open the ovaries, suck all the eggs out. We did ours on Easter egg hunt, kind of far. And the only thing the dude has to do for the whole IVF experience is we just gotta jerk off. That's the
supposed to like. You know, I'm a smart guy. I'm relatively sophisticated. I'm interested in things like, you know, people like when people go like, do you want to go to the museum? Like inside, I'm thinking like, oh, no. But like, but you don't say that. You're like, oh, what's going on down there? What's going on? And like, I don't want to close my mind. I've looked at a lot of art. I like art, and but I think I've seen enough. I think I'm all done. Is that wrong? I mean, I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to discourage anyone from doing it. I'm done, I think. And also, there's a problem I have at museums. Like, if I go to a museum, like right when I walk in and get to the desk where you pay for the ticket, the donation, the suggested donation, like right when I'm putting money down, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. I don't know what just happened. I'm exhausted. Is there a mid-century bench that's not part of an exhibit that I could maybe just take a little snooze on, a little nappy? Like I could see half a painting in that room over there, and I don't know what it wants. I don't know what it needs from me, and I'm tired. I'm just tired. I get the same feeling when I go to Home Depot. You ever go to Home Depot to buy a little thing? Like, I need an extension cord. I'll just go to Home Depot. Don't do it. You just walk in, you're like, oh my God, I'm tired. I'm so tired. Is there any constructed piece of mattress furniture that I could just lay down on a second? And I think it both comes from the same place. It's a deep, like, knowledge that there's just a lot of things I don't understand, and I'm probably not going to. But what do people do?